Just waiting for a few people to come in. How are you, Davina? How are you? Just waiting for Giddy and Boots to come in. What's the story, Dave? I'm supposed to be having Anthony Casey over. I don't know if he is now, but we're hoping to have him over. Good to hear, Dave. Good to hear. Davina, are you going to the protest in Cork? We got the car sorted, so we'll be heading down. Me, Giddy and Boots. What's the story, Rod? Is there many people going down to Cork anyway? What's the crack?
What's the crack there now? We're going down to Cork. County Cork.
Down to Cork. Yuppa, how are you, KO? Paddy, Mike? You listen in the background. No worries.
It's Dave O'Sullivan, Sully.
Who's...
I'm sorry, I put my camera up there. I don't know how to turn it off.
There should be
I'll try and turn it off.
We got you now. We got you now. End of story. You're on camera.
No.
You're on live. You're also live on TikTok. There's 28,000 people watching you right now.
Well, they're not going to be watching me for much longer.
We're only joking. I'm only messing. Just
let me see. Am I supposed to be doing that? How did that happen?
You see down the very bottom, there should say cam. If you press that.
Oh, gone now. Okay.
Just waiting.
I might get kicked off here for a second, right? Because I'm trying to get this sent out
on TikTok.
On TikTok, yeah, as well. So bear with me.
I'll come back on that.
I'll put the link back out. How are you, Rockley? Robert, what's the story? Jerry? I'm just waiting for Boots to come across now as well.
Can you still hear me, Mousy?
Yeah.
Right. I've done something major wrong here.
What's the story, Frankie? We're trying to get Paddy, this is Anthony Casey across, and a few people from TikTok. Few of the good speakers are TikTok. Did you answer me that time, Davina? Yeah, I must have. Did I miss it? I am, yes, going. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, see you down there. I'm looking forward to it now, I am. Like, if we only get 3,000 people, we'd be happy enough with that. And we have a car, that's the main thing. How is this? I'm just waiting for Giddy to put out a link on TikTok and Boots to come across. We get the podcast going. If people want to share it out here on YouTube, share it out there for us, please. Well, pinch job, one Mousy. Sure, I got on to some subscriber yesterday. She came out to the protest out in Tala, out in City West. She told me there was 15 tents. She's probably listening in here now. There's 15 tents down and across the road from the RDS. What's the story, you're over? or bring me wooden spoon. I can't even run. But yeah, she was saying there's 15 tents down there. So I think one of the lads, I texted him last night, he's going to check it out today. Heritage. A Sorsha, isn't it? Sorsha. I might be getting it right now, am I? Spanish chicken, what's the story? I'm just waiting for him to put the link out. And then you get a few people in from TikTok. Is anybody else heading down to Cork for the big protest? I'm joking, sure there are loads of Irishmen will be. So I had a mate out there yesterday, he lived in me estate, and he was there. He says, I'll come out and support you, because, you know, that's where he lives, out in City West. So he said, I'll come out and support you, and so I says, right, yeah, come out. He cycled out, and all he could hear was people shouting across the road, Mousy. He says, no, Mousy, you're bleeding famous. You fucking stop, I said. I says, I'm not in this for the fame, you know. But there was people who was shouting out car doors and all, saying, fair play to you, Mousy. Well, I'll be there. Yeah, you going down the train down this flower, yeah? There's a few heading down the train. Well, I heard the train was booked out for that day. That's why I wasn't going down the train. And plus, I was hoping for this lift. As soon as you get a new car, I'll be back on the road. I'll be flying down to all these protests again. Who's going on the train? I know there's a few people from Ballyfermot heading down the train, but there's a few coaches being booked for Ballyfermot and Tala, and I think they're all booked out. So I asked about 2 weeks ago. I said that one of the girls on TikTok is any room on the train, on the bus. She says no, they're all booked out. I saw a few tents under the walkover bridge facing the Red Kill. Yeah. I went down there about 2 years ago, Jerry, down to the Red Kill, and me and Paul Nolan went down. We were looking around, and we crossed the road from the Red Kill on the main road over the bridge, and went down the bridge, because we seen these migrants were walking from that other side over to the bridge. So we went over there. The whole bushes over there were full of needles. Like we had to get out of there because it was dark as well. So you could get pricked in there. So we just got out of there. But the whole thing was full of needles. There's a little sewer that goes under the road, and that whole thing was full of them as well. Big mad rats and all in there. You're going down, Saoirse, yeah? Going to have a surprise for you. Don't press me on it. It has to be done. Yeah. Should I have a chat with you down there? Why are people talking about I don't know, Frankie. I haven't a clue. Who's actually talking about it? Hasn't been brought up in this life. Yeah, Jess, I can't wait to get back in it and now get my own car going again. Because to tell you the truth, it took me to get to that protest yesterday. It took me about, I think it was about an hour and a half. And I'm only I'm not that far from Tally. But I had to walk down to the Lewis line, which is about 25 minutes, another 25 minutes to half an hour on the Lewis into town. And then I had to jump on the red line, get that Lewis out as well. And that was another 25 minutes. And then I ended up bleeding, getting off the wrong stop. So I ended up getting off at Tally. I should have been getting off at City West. But it doesn't go straight down to City West. You need to get off at one stop and get back on again. No, I didn't. I kept on going. I ended up in Tala, so I had to get Giddy to pick me up and bring me down to the protest. I saw a Mousy partner from everywhere. Davina, find the lads, so I'll catch up with you. I'll say, yeah. Yeah, well, you still find us down there. You'll be live, so you'll see all these buildings. You see the buildings on the camera. You know where I am. That's how I think people were figuring out who I was yesterday when they were driving by. You need to start answering the J question. It's the only way Justin Barrett is your future. Oh Jesus, Frankie. I know the Jews. I know all that, Frankie. Yeah, but this is all about Ireland now at the moment. Girl will be sneaking up nosy. I'll have to swap cameras with somebody. And you're like, is that him there? See, a lot of people don't walk up to me and I'm live. When I went off live in town that time, a good few people came up to me, subscribers came up to me and said, oh, here we are, mouse, They don't want to talk to me when I'm live. How are you, Frank? How are you? Are you going down, Frank? You heading down to Cork? Or heading across? You're from Exford, aren't you? I know you said it multiple times, and so have I. The small chats are destroying Ireland as well, and does have to do with you. I get it, Frankie. Frank, man, sorry, Frank. But it's really that's what I want to talk about, Frankie. It's just about Ireland. It's once it affects my country, and you're saying, I know what you're saying. It all goes down to the Jews, and that's why Ireland's affected. And I know, I get all that, Frankie. But it sounds like something crosses my borders that we don't want here. That's when I get interested. The doll is full of white toys, posh, rot, gangrene. Yeah. You have that spot on. What's the story, Saturday? Yeah, I'm just waiting for Giddy and Boots to come back over. They're over on TikTok trying to get a few people across. And I think Anthony Casey's, he's supposed to be joining us at 7:30. So I don't know what the story is. Two coaches, one is 16 seed, another at 52 seed. Room. I think their room left. If you have anyone left, call Leon Brad. Putio. There's Erdogan. Gary Pierce, Patriot. As up there, it's 30 euro return if Emily's stuck for a coach. Leon Bradley is sorting it out. Oh, you'll definitely see Nora there, Saoirse, yeah. You'll definitely see Nora there. Yeah, they brought the migrants in and own your banks, etc. But whatever. I know, Frankie, but we keep on going back to now the Jews. It's just all about the Jews, Frankie. But the conversation needs to be about my country. You know what I mean? And you're going to keep on saying, but it's got to do with the Jews. The answer, Frankie, I just don't want anything to do with the fucking Jews. And you're going to keep on telling me, it's going back to the Jews. But Frankie, I just want to talk about my country. What's affecting my country at this very moment is migrants. You know what I mean? Illegal migrants. I look for a wig to wear. Frankie, to tell you the truth, like other people have platforms, you know what I mean? And they want to talk about that. That's their subject. Like, you need to go ahead and just make a live there. But this live is not going to be about Jews and talking about World War II, stuff like that. That's nothing against you, Frankie. That's just me personally. I don't want to talk about Jews, and I don't want to talk about the C thing either. As it just get me banned. I have a different platform for that if I want to talk about that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, people are waiting for dentist appointments, doctor's appointments. You ain't getting them because these migrants are getting them first, and they're getting free. sorry, they're getting free medical care. Roma gypsies and all the immigrants, they're all getting free medical care. Well, our own Irish people, I had to pay €70. I'm on the social welfare because I'm out of work because of a prolapsed disc, and I had to pay €70 to my doctor. I don't get no free medical care. Yeah, I know. Davina, yeah, they cheat them because mongrels, yeah. You're not going Saturday now? How are Katrina? And how are you, Pauline? Well, I get it, but yeah, just not my platform for talking about the Jews, you know. Different days, same shit. Kilrock won nothing. The council just increased the number of homes, apartments, and like Kilrock, the housing stock has been bought up. So I'm happy. I've had it in my own area, Paul. I put a post up on my own state's page on Facebook the other day, saying that you were promised 20 women were going into this house, and now they're building 60 apartments. There's a mosque down the industrial estate, and they have now a new iPass centre down in the industrial estate as well. And somebody came up, an anonymous person, so obviously I knew them, and they said, "Have you got any proof?" And I put the whole proof up there for them. They shut their fucking mouth. Oh, worries, Frankie. Take care of yourself. And when you talk about echo chambers, Frankie, that's what it's like. When you come to the live, Frankie, you're talking about Jews. It's non-stop. There's nothing about my country and what's happening in my country. Look what's happening in Paris. That's going to happen here eventually. Probably sooner than we think. Yeah, I'll put the link out there, yeah. Where's the video where Miho called this mongrel, so I can't find it? It's not on my page, Katrina. I never posted it. But yeah, they're supposed to be having a documentary that's coming out. Just add Giddy here to the stage, sorry. What's the crack?
Yeah, so we have got a guest coming over. Anthony Casey's coming over to us approximately just after 8 o'clock, maybe a bit later than 8. So stay tuned, guys, because we're going to be talking about the upcoming trip in Cork. Why am I echoing?
Yeah, but Saladin, if Frankie wants to have his chats, that's what I'm saying. Why doesn't he just go onto his live and just make a live and just talk about COVID or talk about bleeding the Jews? I'm not telling him to F off. I mean, he's more than welcome to come in here, but I'm not going to talk about the Jews and talk about World War II.
I just saw there what Katrina said there. The video about Miho calling us all mongrels.
Yeah.
So basically, mongrels, as you know, are the best dog that you can have. They're the strongest one. They're survivors. So in a way, yeah, we are mongrels. We're survivors, and we're better than the full breeds like Miho, Martin, and his little sidekick.
Yeah, no, Saladin, yeah. I've learned a lot from myself as well, Saladin. But you know, that's the only subject. It just gets repetitive. Like Frankie's saying to me that there's an echo chamber in here. But that's what I feel when Frankie comes into the live, that there's an echo chamber. He's just talking about the same subject. He's not talking about what's this place in Kilrock, this is happening there, or this place in Waterford, this is happening here. He's talking about Jews. He's gone back to World War II.
Hi, Pauline.
It's repetitive chat.
So I say, Frank, Lady of Air, Ulysses, Paddy, Paul O'Neill. Sorry,
I
just tried to say hello to everybody.
Take care.
Jesus, Frank, I'm not even fucking saying it like that.
Was it?
I said that we must be all, because the mongrel is the best dog of the fucking whole lot. Yeah, they're the fighters. They're better than the pedigrees, aren't they? If you know anything about dogs, that is.
Yeah, but it's still not a nice name to be calling us all, is it?
No, I'm proud to be a strong Irishman. Yeah, good evening. The most loyal. That's correct, Ulysses. That's it.
What's the story, James?
And some of us are like a tornado. We don't listen. We just bomb along.
Where's the bills,
And
lads?
we're waiting on them. So I've been out trying to get a few people in. I'm not saying definitely, but do you know that girl that's from Sweden?
The reporter.
Yeah, I've sent that over to her to say that we're live now, because I've had a talk with her as well, you see, just to see what's actually going on in Sweden, and we can see the difference of what's happening there, what's going to come here. I'll be back in 2 seconds, Mousy.
Nobody's yet. Pedigrees are weak dogs, always sick. So you have to give other people a voice. I don't know. I mean, we can't just keep on bringing Frankie and Steady Eddie up and just treat me and Giddy and those two in a live every week. The podcast needs to be spread out. Like, there's a lefty on TikTok that I didn't like at the very start. I actually like her now because she does talk some facts. She does talk a few facts, but she actually agrees that no, illegal migrants shouldn't be here. But she's a lefty. But she wanted to join us at the protest one time, on the 26th that time. But she says that because it's not just about housing and homelessness or any of that kind of, or against the government. It's all about against migrant immigration. And she doesn't agree with the whole thing about immigration. But yeah, everybody has their own points. Police in Sweden are just waiting people to be indoors before a certain time. It's that bad. Jesus Christ. I seen it over in France after that, the Champions League game. I think the lady's gone.
What's wrong?
Somebody's saying, hi lady, I'm just saying, I think the lady's gone. She says she won't come in. Paddy, I keep on saying Paddy Casey, but Anthony Casey's coming in.
She won't come in because Anthony Casey's coming in.
Yeah, I don't know what she said in the comments there, but everybody needs to have a word, you know what I mean? Then we don't agree. That's the whole thing of that's the whole point of a podcast. I mean, you're debating.
Just to make your voice heard.
Yeah. I'm saying that the Swedes and the Irish are enemies. Who's that Saladin? Who made that video? Or was that RTE or something, is it? Save the other group of people at that point. One going to start defending healthcare dogs, but the dogs are great. Yeah, man, I knew what you're saying. 100%.
What are you eating? Can you hear me eating, yeah?
I couldn't hear you eating now.
No, I'm having have some of that bleeding smoked cheese. So I just wanted to try it out.
For fuck's sake. You might be saying the same in the UK, yeah. Now what are you selling it?
I can hear the rappers.
Yeah. What's the story? What are you laughing at?
They can hear the rappers. there's some more for you, more rappers.
Yeah, we can't be falling out, Robert. I mean, like, if people want to talk about different subjects, just make it live. It's that easy, you know.
Look, we're mainly on here now tonight to talk about, well, when we get Anthony in, we're talking about the upcoming protest that's in Cork, okay? What it's going to aim to achieve, and will it be something that'll be shown on the news? And obviously, how many people are coming? How many people are going to be there? What do you think the turnout is going to be like? Are the lefties going to outnumber us? Are we going to be left there holding our nuts in our hands? We don't know. And as well as that, if he did get into power, I want to ask him this question. In the first 6 months of being in power, as his party, if they did get in, hypothetically this is,
Yeah,
what would he
Saturday,
change?
yeah. Lockley was telling me up there, yeah. Nice one. How we cat in?
So what would he change? Like, that's what I'm saying. What would he change? And how would he change it? And how would it be the better for Ireland?
To be honest, I think the left is going to get more of a numbers man than us. That's the
No, I
way I
don't
see it.
I
Right?
don't think they will. I don't think they will. I think this is going to be absolute massive, this one down here.
Well, and it's a lefty county, you know. So I'm expecting they're going to get the numbers out.
KK24, don't take the doom pill. What's that mean?
The doom pill, having the flu. What's the story, KK?
Andy Casey, 1 month of air pride is nonsense. We and into the Irish.
It's for a newly month.
I don't think there should be a month of bleeding pride. Like, why can't there be a month of heterosexual month? Or if you want to put it this way, why can't there be blowjob month or something like that? And let me just say it very straight and blatant. Sorry if that tickled you a little bit.
Hopefully, James. Hopefully. I really do hope we get the numbers.
Like,
Yeah, Kathleen, I'm all good. I was tired after yesterday's protest, after being like a drowned rat.
Yeah, so Robert there says he agrees with me, Mousy. Do you agree with me? Mousy?
Yeah.
Do you agree with me?
Sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
I do agree with you. I agree with you, yeah.
So we should have blowjob one.
Yeah.
No, I think we should have heterosexual month. We should have that in like August.
I'll be honest, I think they shouldn't have any of that, promoting any of that crap, you know what I mean? Just a whole lot in general. You shouldn't be out
Frank
promoting
Bennett, I'm not saying what you think. I'm thinking that, like, as a heterosexual male, I should have blowjob month. I'm being sarcastic, ladies. Don't mind me. I'm just taking the piss.
No rainbow dildo.
No rainbow dildo. Fuck's sake. Now what have we
Oh no,
started?
Paddy. It annoys me all that pride stuff is there. And don't get me wrong, I have a family member that's gay. No problem with people that's being gay, but they don't go out bleeding, promoting it on the streets and wearing half a kit walking around the road. There you go.
Well, I'll tell you, Frank, if you don't like it, Jesus Christ, there's something wrong with you. I'm a red-blooded male. Freddie Mercury.
Places with the Irish 15 months. What's the story, Johnny? It's Tia there. Look, Giddy.
Johnny McCarthy. Tia, hey Tia. Give us a link there, Mousy. That'll come up.
So Tia, I think you have to turn on your camera to get up, but then you just turn it off before you get into the box.
It's all good here. We have Auntie Casey coming over after 8 o'clock. We'll
What's the
know when he
story,
pops
Pete?
in. And we-
And he's got red lips. He's all still talking with that breathing subject.
No, he's just dirty minded now. I'm beginning to think there's something wrong there, Frank. If you think that I want another man
Oh,
around me.
sorry, Boots. Didn't even see it there, man.
I'm a pure full bred.
The
I've
link
got
is
a
out there. I'm
message
going
and
to put the
everything.
link up there. It's just above tier there. Did I put it out? No.
I don't. No, there's no link in there. No.
Sorry, folks. There's the link now.
Tia, click on the link there if you want to pop up. Tia does be over on the TikTok channel for those who don't know her. Very powerful girl. She comes from the traveling community and just a good listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. Now we're a few years now.
That's it. She put you in your place quick enough, let me tell you.
When I'm back from Cork, James, I'll be going back out in the streets around Dublin again. I'll be down in Cork on a Saturday for 2 p.m.
No worries, Tia. Anytime you can see how it goes. This is a little bit more chill than TikTok. We don't have arguments. We have
No worries.
discussions.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes. Only when Frankie's up.
Yeah,
Frankie doesn't want to come up.
so Boots, do you agree with me? Yeah,
What's it?
just agree.
What am I agreeing to? What the fuck am I agreeing to?
There should be blowjob on.
I haven't seen him in ages. I haven't seen Kieran in
Yeah.
ages in the live.
What?
Heterosexual blowjob on.
Yeah, the fucking well, I'm out.
You're about 7 hours from Cork. Jesus.
Fucking hell.
No cannons in here. Oh, definitely no cannons.
No, definitely not. That wouldn't happen. One of the
Taliban,
most
how are you?
hated men in Ireland. Like if there was a
That
big
Mongo
board.
wouldn't even understand what this platform is.
Oh, they have their own podcast. They have.
How happy?
Yeah, and it's like about 2 people going
Thank
to the
fuck
list.
I've never come across it.
Who's this, lads?
Cannon and Simple D.
Cannon and the Cannonballs.
Oh, jeez.
No, Cannon and Simple D does it. They both run it.
I kicked into the coffee.
Simple
I don't
fucking
know if
pink
I'm back
frock.
in. Yeah, you're back in, Katrina, yeah. Put on mousey, mate. Working Saturday too. Jesus, huh? You want me to tune in, James? Or you have to go into the Jackson, sit down in the Jackson, turn the phone on.
Sorry, Mousy. Don't mean to go over you there. Katrina, you don't have to keep on doing that, but thank you very much. We appreciate it. Katrina's
Johnny
donated.
McCarthy. How are you? Who's Johnny McCarthy?
That's
Yeah,
it.
thanks, Katrina.
Oh, what's the story here?
Yeah.
I don't know who that was. Like Johnny McCarthy said the 2 roses. I was like, who the fuck is Johnny McCarthy?
The Cannon wannabe rapper, yeah.
Yeah. Like, have any listened to his music? Like,
It's terrible.
no,
Man.
even though no, we won't go there. Jesus Christ! Like,
Fucking echo bleeding chamber.
Make your ears bleed. Like, jeez, me. Like, no, actually, I'm gonna go on to something completely different. Yeah. Anybody watching investigations? RTE investigates.
Oh yeah, lad. Did you see? I need to read up about that fucking airplane with the 32 people getting deported from Ireland, and they tried to pull a sickie to get the plane diverted. They nearly did though. They nearly got it diverted. Yeah, it was just about to fucking do a U-turn, and they realised they were only bullshitting on it, so they kept going all the way to Lagos.
There you go.
Was there another plane as well with 5 on it?
Oh, I don't know. There was 32 on this one.
They were saying it was just a family.
Yeah, 22 different families it was that was on that plane. So they've actually taken people out of the country, so they say. But going back to this RTA investigates last night, guys, did you see about the homes, about the old people Anybody watching
That
it,
was fucking, you
anybody
know
see
what? That
anything?
was fucking terrible. Like, you were looking at that man that poor man was getting a fucking wedgie out of that bleeding, out of the wheelchair into the chair.
And you
You know,
noticed
like, that
all
was
the
fucking
carers that were
disgraceful, that
doing it.
was.
Yeah, but you know, all the carers that were doing it were foreigners. Every single
Yeah.
one of them.
And you know, sorry, but you know what?
Be back
What
in
I'm
one
more
second.
fucking, what I'm more shocked at is, why the fuck did your woman not go straight to the fucking guards? What, you wanted to build up, oh, well, hang on, we get a documentary out of this? She should have been straight to the guards the second she seen any sort of abuse. I know, like, RTE put it out there, but I'm sorry that they looking to close down these old folks' homes so they can turn them into fucking iPass centres. That's the only reason they're putting them out there. And bringing people in from fucking other countries that take care of our elderly, and they think that our elderly are the ones that fucking done all the shit to them over the years. It's a bad idea to have them working in them fucking places.
I don't think we can
Like,
believe
I
this.
just seen there last night from that fucking documentary. They're trying to get all the old folks out of them places so they can turn them to iPass centres. They're desperately trying to fucking get as many buildings as possible. They done it during the lockdowns, didn't they? They closed down all the old folks' homes there in fucking Bray. I used to deliver into all them for old folks' homes. I used to go in and collect the prescriptions and then go off to the chemist and leave them in. And then the afternoon, then I go back to the chemist and pick them up and go back to all the old folks' homes to deliver it to them.
Don't take too much on here.
No, but Giddy, I drove through Bray not too long ago, and I was fucking sickened to see all them old folks' homes that I delivered into are all iPass centres.
Yeah, sure. Like when you go down to Bray itself, and anyway, if you go looking for a hotel, you'll find the majority of them is 50-50, or some are just fully for migrants.
No, do you know the beachfront? Do you know that road?
Yeah.
Right, where the beach is, the big long stretch, right? So the street behind that, if you go down that street, there was all old folks' homes along there. There was loads of them on the way down. So I used to work for Lloyd's, right? So I'd have to go collect all that blister packs and all, and they'd get stocked up in the chemist, and then I'd bring them back, return them back to the nursing homes to them.
Sorry,
you know, some of the places you walked into, you could tell the people were looked after.
Don't mean to cut across you. Katrina, you don't think you got back in, lads, after the hobby? Yeah, are you actually in the comments? You are, Katrina.
Yeah, you're in the comments there, Katrina, yeah.
It's just slightly confused. She is. Like when you go into buy me a coffee, like sometimes it looks like you're being out of the actual thing, and it's hard to get back in. But you actually do come back in. It just takes a little bit of time to catch up.
Sitting to see what's happened to our old people. 100% Casper.
Yeah, but before that, there was no incidents, if you remember correctly. When it was Irish people getting paid proper wages, there was none of that. Sorry, Boots. Go ahead. What were you finishing off saying there? Sorry. I just had to stop you there because Katrina was worried about not getting back in.
No, it's just like it's terrible to see that all these places are being closed down, and you know they're being handed over the altar of mass migration. You want to put it fucking that way? Our elderly, like if you go back a couple of years ago, and when Leo, they're trying to bring in that Novo, and Leo was talking on the news, and he said that the old folks had nothing to do with the government, and it should be up to the families to look after them. And I'm like, but that's the government's fucking job, is to look after the ones who help keep the country fucking going. You know, yeah, but so they wanted, like, now they're talking about like fucking if you bring them home, so if you have room in your house, you get put into a smaller place, and a migrant family takes over your fucking gaff. Or else probably a group of fucking migrants get put into a house if they haven't got families to go in. Because that's the way it fucking looks.
Yeah, that's the way it seems to want to go, Artie.
These windy politicians, right? They sold out because they're terrified that Muslim overlords are going to take fucking over. And they are fucking terrified of that. And that's why they're actually bringing them in and welcoming them in, because they actually truly believe that these are going to take over. And when the beheadings start, which they know they fucking will, once their numbers are up, they'll be the ones that think they're fucking safe. They're sailing us down the fucking river.
there'd be no safety for them because we're not going to have it. That's the way it's going to be. And like, if they don't like it, they're welcome to come over here and debate us on it and see what way it's going to end up for them. Because as it seems now, they're robbing themselves. They got billions, I'd say millions, put into that place in Clonsea. Yeah. So a lot of money disappeared now that. And there was absolute rage over it. But they do now believe that mosque
Well, look
in
at
Blanchardstown.
what Gavin
Hold on,
Pepper's
sorry, just finish what I was saying. The Muslim Brotherhood is supposed to be involved in that, and they're a terrorist organisation.
But now they're calling them mosques now, Islamic
As
centres and stuff like that.
Gavin Pepper put it, it costs a mortgage, right, to stay in some of them places. So you have to own your own house, right? When you get old. And then when you sell your house, the proceedings from your house get you put into these places, and that's what pays your bill, supposedly pays your bill.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Your
right.
house. That's what supposedly it does. So then people are selling up their house, going in, the money's getting given straight to a fucking like
Paid
an
up
old
front.
folks home who's treating them like fucking animals.
Yeah, and they're paid up front as well. They got their wage up front. They've not even carried out the work or looked after the person until they passed away, and they got paid up front, and even then some on top of that. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like that.
It's not that. It's wrong. It's wrong what's happening, right? Because they're walking off like, you know, these people coming in thinking under the name of diversity, it'd be great to have these people in here. Oh, they're hard workers. Well, sorry, but look up the fucking news. These people are coming in, they're fucking ripping off the elderly. They're scamming them. You know, like there was one that was scamming people, I think 70,000 or something like that. I was reading that on an Irish Fires page there earlier on TikTok.
And another thing as well that you could look at as well, if you look at the CEOs and the owners of these buildings and these places that are care homes for the elderly in Ireland, most of them are millionaires. They're millionaires, and the way that them people are treated, they should be like, you know, I mean, super, super duper fucking be on it, yeah, as regards to every patient that comes in there is treated like royalty for the money that they're paying for that. Whether they're there for 5 minutes or they're there for fucking 10 years, doesn't make any difference. Them people that are going in there inevitably are going to pass away, and they should have a great life before they do.
Well,
And
that's
the whole point.
That's the pasture for old age. That, you know, after everything they've done in life and done for their country and things now like that, that they would be given the grace to die with dignity. You know, put into an old folks' home and taken care of. Like, don't worry, you won't be sitting there, you won't be soiling yourself because there'll be proper care there for you. You won't be starving because there'll be proper care there for you. You won't be sitting there stinking because there'll be proper care there for you. Do you know what I mean? But these people are going in and they're like fucking zoo animals. They're getting treated like fucking crippled zoo animals. They're being dragged around the place. You know, getting fucking hit.
You can actually click on the link if Mousy puts it in there, and you can come up and you can actually talk if you prefer. Because when you're writing in the comments, we might not catch our question or what you said because it's going fairly quick up and down, like, you know what I mean, and we can't watch every single question that comes in. Yeah. We have your girlfriend in.
There you go.
Oh, Jesus, it's Sasquatch. Hope you got a back creep with those legs, mate.
There's the link, Maeve, there if you want to jump up.
You want a fucking chainsaw?
You have to put on your camera, Maeve, and then turn off your camera, so you want to point it somewhere else.
You love what you do.
Go away, you giddy.
The War of the Roses. Come on.
The animals in the zoo were treated far better.
That's what it'd be fucking like.
Giddy, sing us a song.
Sing us a song of sixpence.
I'm a little teapot.
I'm a little teapot. I am nearly finished.
I'm nearly finished. Jumper in little boots. Is this for Cork, is it?
Yeah.
She's shaving her legs and knitting a jumper over.
She's doing it all for you, though, Bootsy.
She'd be cold running around that forest naked.
I'm running around the forest naked.
No, she would. That's what the hippies do. They run around throwing all fucking peppers in the air dancing.
Yeah, Pat.
Frank Barron, you're having secret thoughts about me. I can feel you. My ears are burning.
telling me to sing songs.
Keep me nice and warm outside the iPad centres.
I sang a song from the last time, Giddy.
Did you?
Yeah, we actually did, didn't we, Frank?
You've got a great voice now, Mousy. You can sing. I sing like a fucking bag of crows. Mev, come up.
I sang that song, I Love You, from the Furies.
Yeah, I wouldn't know where to start with them songs because I'm
I
just
don't think.
I'm just
There's
a
Anthony
knucklehead,
Casey there.
right?
How do I get up? I'll send out the link there for you, Anthony.
I don't sing.
Where's Andy?
He's there, it says Ireland first.
Oh yeah, got you. Click on the link, Andy, and then make your way up. I'm sure you know how to do it. And anyway, to be fair,
The Lonesome Boat one. Yeah, that's one of my dad's favourite songs. But my dad was, yeah. My dad used to
right,
play that in the pub.
the course of question is going to change now. That we got Anthony coming up into the live here.
I sang like two crows and he.
Right.
And we honestly do the Republican movement have an opinion on this? I think we have importance in moral and their voice.
The Republican movement is different to this kind of movement. Like at the minute, does the Republican movement stand with Sinn Féin and what they want? Are they standing with the Irish people and what they want? Because it is the majority of Ireland that want the deportations to happen and tougher laws on an outer border. We don't want an inland border, but we want an outer border. You know, if they want to stop people coming in and go travelling down south from the north, they should be doing proper checks up there in Belfast too, in Belfast Airport.
How are you, Andy? What's the story, bro?
Are you in there, Anthony? Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, how he's doing? Can you hear me okay?
I'll
Yeah,
go
yeah,
there.
yeah,
On
yeah.
the way.
How was getting on?
So just to introduce everybody, Anthony's you're leading the Ireland Force at the moment, are you?
Yeah, so I'm the president of Ireland Force at the moment. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So Andy, we're up here, as I've mentioned to you before, going to be talking about the upcoming protest in Cork.
Yeah.
What's your feelings on it?
I reckon there's going to be loads at it. I'd say there's going to be a massive amount. I was talking back and forth to Derek Bly there this week. So I think that there's going to be I reckon there's going to be a massive amount of people there. He's out there asking me, will I take the mic and have a chat? So I'm one of the speakers now. I don't know.
Nice one, yeah.
Yeah. So now he wants me to talk about Sinn Féin, because they're after doing do you know what the Sinn Féin is?
Yeah, I know what Sinn Féin is. Sinn Féin, though, are they actually gone that big now, aren't they? Or are they still just a small group? Because I do know that there's something like 2,000 members or something like that. Am I
See down there, Crypto?
No, there's six. I tell you now, there's almost 600 members there.
I just heard rumours that there was 2,000.
No, there's not.
Is that what your man McConnell from Donegal, is he?
He's not in this now. I don't know what he's doing.
Is he not the person that runs that? No.
No, that must be a different thing. This is where we're doing the community patrols. 570 members there. We were getting about 50 a day, 40 a day for the last few weeks.
Oh, you know what you're talking about? Walking the streets.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right, get you. Yeah, go, carry on. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
You would have seen all the boys there in South Dublin. Were checking. Last night we had nationwide. They had Clonmel were out, Carlow were out, Kildare were out, Limerick were out, Dublin South were out, Louth were out, Wexford were out. It was deadly. They all went out and they all sent in. We're trying to compile all the videos together and show all the lads going around. They're out looking for camps when they're out patrolling around the towns, stuff like that. So, yeah. So Derek Bly just wants me to Ross Lahive. You know, he was out in Cork. He was part of the Cork one last night. He did a video on it.
Right.
So yeah. So that's it. That's
Well,
growing.
the actual last one that was there in Cork, the girl there called Rebel Resistance that's in the comments. Her name is Tia. She's part of the travelling community. She was one of the speakers at the last one.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so at the actual last one in Cork, where they were actually outnumbered, where we're not going to be seen to be outnumbered, I don't think this time around. I think there's going to be a big, massive show for Cork.
Yeah.
Because all the trains are actually booked out, and you can't get a train. So unless you're driving, that's the only way you can get down to Cork at the moment. Or jumping in or whatever. Do you know that sort of way?
Well, I've a full car. I'm actually going to a gig tomorrow in Dublin, and then I'm going to stay over. My mad lives in Walkinstown, so I'm going to stay over there, and then I'm going to go up to. I'm going to go across to head across to it there. Then, see, look, I'm kind of wearing the two hats a little bit. Where I'm kind of one of the council members of Shin Nadina, which is the original 10 people at the hub of it. And then I'm also the president of Ireland First, so I'm kind of trying to meet both and try and represent both, if you know what I mean. But
Okay.
we're still trying to get Ireland First off the ground completely. So I won't be. Councillor Tom McDonald hopefully will be speaking at it. He's part of Ireland First. So look, there'll be us there. There'll be lads. You'll see a lot of lads with blue armbands. They'll be Shin Nadina. And then Ireland First hopefully will have their banners with flags, that kind of way.
I think you're losing a bit of signal there, Andy.
Was I? Could you hear me now?
Yeah. It was just a bit of static coming in there.
Oh yeah.
So just another quick question for you, right? So the achievement for doing this protest down in Cork, what's it actually, and what are we going to achieve by this? Are we going to put it to the government again, just that we've marched, or is there anything further going to go behind it to show that the people just don't want this migrants into the country?
You know what I think it is, right? This is what I think the benefit of these things are, right? That if there's, I've been saying it there. I was in Clonmel last weekend and I was talking with Philip Dwyer, and I said, now is the time where people are to stop caring what their neighbors think and what their work friends think and all that, and just get out the fuck. Because here's the crack is, I think that if people see more and more people turning up, think they'll be like, I get lost in that crowd, or there's that many people think the same to me. Maybe I'm right, So I think if there's another, we had a massive protest there on the 26th of May in Dublin. So imagine if we had the same numbers in Cork, then you're onto something. Then that's 2 in a row.
There were 100,000 people turn up in Cork on this Saturday coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do a streak through Cork City, ball naked. I promise.
No, you won't.
What do you think?
No, Giddy, come on now.
Well, it's a good bet, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for the people out there that know me,
but come on now, we'll be all hoping you fucker you lose that day.
Well, if it makes them turn up, good. But on a very serious note, that I would actually fucking do that. If 100,000 people turn up into Cork, I'd do that happily.
Yeah.
Hey, coming up, mate.
Are you staying down afterwards?
No, we're just down for the day and back up.
Yeah.
We go to everything that we were ushers at not the one that was on the 26th, May 6th last year. We were ushers on that one.
Oh yeah.
So we do know the majority of the people that do turn up at these things. Do you know what I mean? We're the same old faces that are outside the iPad centres all the time. Yeah,
there's a few. I think there's going to be Shin Nadina lads doing a bit of stewarding for it as well. So that'll be good, because they kind of wear the blue vest anyway. They did it in Cork. So it'd be good to at least they can lend a hand in that way, that kind of way. So
yeah. Well, look, at the end of the day, all I want to see is a sea of the tricolour all over Cork. Want it to turn out a good day, and nobody engage with the nasty people that are going to be behind the railings.
The lefties will be there now trying to cause the trouble. Remember, they're trying to say that we're the troublemakers. So just let everybody see it's coming from that fucking side.
Yeah, that's it. Look, we haven't. Think if I don't know if there was 100,000 in Dublin, but there was massive amount anyway. Thousands, tens of thousands, definitely well over 50, I think. But there wasn't one bit of trouble I saw. Um,
And that was good, and you know what? Because it was mothers bringing out their children as well to it.
yeah,
You know,
No,
and
no,
that's what people need to understand, that there's going to be children at this.
yeah, can I just put one more thing to that, right? That people didn't know. There's a guy that was on TikTok, right? And the reason why I say 100,000 people turned up in Dublin is what they've done is, do you remember I think it was the Workers' Party rights or something like that in Dublin city centre, where like hundreds of thousands of people turned out, and they filled from Parnell Street right down to the Golden Mile, okay? And at that time, it was counted how many people turned up, because the Workers' Party were looking on the numbers that did turn up. And the water charges also is being comparison of. And we did actually have around 100,000 people. Some people say about 109,000 we had at that protest on the 26th gone.
wow.
So that's where they're getting their comparison from. These previous videos that were not on TikTok or not on YouTube at the time, but they were old archive things that they did actually measure the amount of people that did turn up. So that's
Yeah.
what that people are walking around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I listen. I do think someone told me when I was there. I went to the Grand Central afterwards for a pint, and someone said to me they stopped counting after 70,000. And I knew because Paul Fitzsimons was there and he was recording live. It said it took like something like 33 minutes for the front of from the front to the back of the queue. Like you said, there was way
right,
more
yeah.
than he's ever seen.
And it was the pace. See, the pace that we go at. That's another thing that, like, if anybody can put their foot down on that, the pace that we go at, we should have intervals of, 2-3 minute stops within the crowds, and stop just jogging down the road. Make it last a bit longer. Make people enjoy it a bit more for the day. And like
Yeah,
Bill
because
was saying there
it's
before,
not that. It's hard when you have to tell everybody before you start, because the front of the crowd stops. Everybody's going to be bumping into one another.
yeah, I
There's going to
understand
be
that.
people yapping away as people stop in a big crowd. That's why people at the front just keep walking, and everybody, like the ones at the back, is only starting to walk when they're getting to the end of it.
It's a bit late now, probably in the day for me to say this, but nobody know what an air horn is. Nobody bring air horns with them. Like, Jesus Christ. And aim it at the lefties. Shut them the fuck right up.
So the lefties will have their own whistles, won't they?
Anybody got an RPG? Anybody got an RPG?
I
I
got what you
believe
call it.
their
An air
guy is
horn.
air horns or something. I think he's bringing it. Like, you know what I think last time? I think it really shocked the guards how many there was. Like, the guards realised when they were there last time that they were nothing. They were specks. They had no power whatsoever. If we wanted to charge lads to GPO, we could have done it 200 times over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the thing with the guards now. They're not doing their job. See, they're going recruiting in iPass centres now. The lads who
seen
are
that
legally
today,
throwing away their paperwork. Like,
But didn't that come out there? Didn't that come out there a while ago when they were going into the Islamic buildings and saying that they wanted people from their religion in with the guards and all now?
Yeah. You wanted multicultural diversity in the guards.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying and all. Like, we're going to be witness to the dissolvement of the guards, and the next thing on the streets is the United Nations Police Force, and they're building that up by getting all these in already, because they're like. As Mousy, you know yourself that some of these are United Nations soldiers. They've shown you the identification.
Yeah, I have a few shots on my phone here. There's lads that were in.
These are coming in. They're getting positions. Like, they're getting put into position. Like, there's loads of people quitting the guards. Like, there's loads of Irish like walking over it and all and quitting it. So they're going into these places and recruiting them. So these are recruiting people who have no fucking linkage to this country whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? These are going to be people who. It's going to put it down to us that we were racist towards them, and they're going to be the ones in the fucking uniform.
Well, I put it this way to you, right? Now, and I'm going to say this on a very serious note, right? Well, when I was in the IDF, and when I was in the IDF, all your orders were in Oswelga, yeah? So, basically, everything that you spoke had to be in Irish, and that makes you part of the Irish Army. Do you understand? Because that's your lingo.
Most security out there, even Circle K garages, everything, they're all foreigners working in it. Like, literally, there's no teenagers what we used to see years ago. Like a teenager would start off working in a garage or the local shop or something like that. Now we have these fuckers coming in who's working for buttons and standing there with a big smile behind the fucking counter at you. They're happy, they're getting paid. They're not getting as much as what they get in their own country, but they're putting the hours in over here. So it's stopping the young and the young from going out and getting the local jobs.
Well, you see what they're doing? They're making rent so hard that the Irish like family have to close down a business, and then
Yeah.
the profiteers just grabbing its iPads, and then they're giving interest-free loans and mortgages to
That's
the
the Sharia mortgage thing, Andy. Did you see that?
Yeah, like they're just making our country like all the meats. I have 2 young kids. I've an elder chap, he's in 5th class, but I have 2 young kids about to start primary school, and I'm going around the primary schools looking to make sure there's no pride flags anywhere or Muhammad's not up on the wall and all that shit. But I went into the principal and I said, "Who's supplying the food? You know, there's hot meals." And I said, "Right, is it all halal or what the fuck?" And they said, "You know what? All hot food sent to all." Everywhere will be halal food within the next year or two to all primary schools. And he said not only that, all the sacraments, all the communions and all, they're all going to be trying to take all them out from all the primary schools. Like in my kid's school, my elder fella's school, they're not allowed to say Christmas festival. They have to call it a winter festival and all this shite. Like this, it's
I wouldn't align with that. Like I'd go down and tell the principal straight out, you're not going to ruin my child's head like that.
But you know what, Giddy? The way it is, they tested the water with us there a few years ago, and nobody said nothing. Nobody opened their mouth to them. I know they just keep putting more things out. They're like, "I'll go away, I'll go away." Something else to complain about that and all. Like something drastically needs, and like yourself, Andy, fair play to you for getting out there and getting up and speaking out as well. You know.
Yeah.
Because people like yourself that we do need out there that go up in front of a crowd and fucking let them bleed know exactly what this country needs and what it needs to do.
The only time, you know what, funny enough, the only time I got in front of a crowd was in, there's a clip going around, it's like 20 seconds long, of me calling out a guard from the stage that called me a scumbag. That's the only time I actually got up on stage. That was last week. Because usually lads are saying it, and that's good. That's good enough for me, because enough was being said. And then I was in Limerick last night, and we went on patrols, and we went down through looking for camps, and we found a camp. We actually found the guy who strangled a woman in Tipperary and was let out. He was in like
fucking hell.
It was like in the forestry there in Limerick. It was in Limerick City, and we were out with them, and there were traveller boys who gave us a dig out and all that kind of thing as well. But like I think that's what we need to do. Like we can't. Like this is the thing, right? People say to me, "Look, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it with politics? Sure, that's not going to solve this." But that's what I'm saying. That I know that's not going to solve it by itself. But I know Sinn Féin might be another part of it. And if there's another part of it again, then I want to be part of that as well. I'm just trying to be part of every way of fighting back. That's it. That if we eventually get everyone together, thousands of us, like march to the Dáil, kick them out, then we have people to step into their place. Then that kind of way, honest people like.
There's a question there in the comments there, Andy. It's a girl called Maeve. You see the highlight
we call her Med B. She doesn't deserve that name, Maeve. It's Med B.
No, let's do it right. We'll do it right. Come on. If you just read the comment there, Andy.
And he's asking him about his party policies and what they do different.
Yeah, right. So this is what so a couple of big things, right? Is we're in unapologetically Indigenous Irish people. So that's the party's only looking after, and we don't care what that looks like to the mainstream. We don't care what it's going to look like. It's looking after the Indigenous Irish people first. So that means taxing the shit out of people who are coming into the country and looking after our own. What we're doing different, right, I think is, well, first of all, we're a pro-life completely. Like I've a hard enough stance on that. Very Christian party, very pushback, and we have all these committees, let's say, right? So the idea with the committees is that there's no point in me writing policy or one of the other lads. It has to be from the experts who are wide awake to all this stuff. So we set up a health committee, let's say, right? And we have Dr. Vincent Carroll in there, who's been calling out the COVID scam and the excess deaths. And we've nurses who are 30 years in the medical field who left it because of all the stuff that's going on. They're all the wide awake. They're going to be the ones who write the policies. And then in, say, the education one, we have teachers who are sick of all the pride flags and indoctrination and all, the ones that are wide awake. So we're accepting them in, and they're the ones that are doing that. So it's all, we're trying to build like a vehicle that all these people who are dead wide to everything going on, like there's an energy one with a few like guys who are wide to the climate scam. They're going to push back against that, and they know how to do that. There's a legal one with Patrick McGreal in it and Teresa Murphy and all that kind of thing. And that's to help anyone who's in like unjustly being called out in Ireland or being brought to jail, that they can get there and we can rally behind them and they'll help. So that's what's different. It's like real structure that if someone wanted to join the party and said, you know what, and by the way, I'm an expert in marketing, they're like, yeah, you jump into the media group there. I'm an expert in, like, I've been a teacher for years. I'm sick of this. Yeah, grand, you're in the education, like that kind of thing. That there's a way that the people are building the party. You know what I mean? Like, I'm only a spokesperson for the party. I know I'm not going to be the Minister of Education like that, but I'm trying to find the right people in them committees that if we do march these guys out at all, because I don't know if the election is even. Look, I think the election was rigged the last time around, and that's a massive thing.
Can I just put into you there for a minute, Andy? Right, so two things I want to find out of you as to what you're saying there about policies and things like that. But just say, for argument's sake, we had a snap election tomorrow, and Ireland Force managed to get in to power in the Dáil. Yeah. So we're in the 4-6 months of being in the Dáil, okay, and you're taking the reins basically.
Yeah.
What is, other than migration, what would you change in this country?
Well, I think one of the biggest problems that is coming from everywhere, like our involvement with the EU, just means that they can do whatever they want because no one in that all, they're all bought and owned by the EU. Everything they say goes, and it's all this globalist agenda, New World Order stuff. So I'd say you need to review our membership with the EU and build us out of it.
And how would you go about the financial debt that we're into them? How would you get that deficit down before? Because like if you remember when the UK came away from the EU, what would they had to pay them something like 42 billion before they could walk away, and I think ours currently stands at about 230 billion.
Yeah,
how would we get that deficit down?
I was seeing that someone was going through what each country in EU owes the other country. I think it's all just a way of having each other tied up in it. Like, I think, look, people won't want us walking away from the EU tomorrow. We're not ready for it. We have to take back a load of our fish. We have to negotiate and take it back piece by piece. Like the obviously,
why would we, like I'd say I'd actually argue that point with you. If it was the case, like, why would we have to fight anything, right? If the oil or the gas is on our land, it's our oil, our gas, and if it's our fisheries that they took from us as a one country, then without anything to do with the EU, surely they wouldn't have negotiating there because that's our land, it belongs to us. They wouldn't be able to take it.
Yeah, but like
we'd be self-sufficient, wouldn't we?
Yeah, like our fisheries go all the way to Iceland, I think they said, or something like that. Like, they should be ours, but we'd have to, like, you'd have to take the boats off. Like, I think if you took a hard stance like that, you might be at war. I don't know. You'd have to, like, the ideal scenario is we got destroyed when we became part of the EU. Like, we need to leave it. And I was in the Irish Freedom Party, and this was their whole thing, was air exit, and they're dead right with it, but it scared people at the doors. It terrified them. And I think, you know what would be a good way? I think if you show people the pros and cons of staying in it and gave them a referendum that said, look, this is what's going on, this is how bad it is, and this is what's going to be, and this is what...
Sorry, Nev, I'll get to your question in a minute, I will. But if you put the link in there, pop up, Mev, and just ask the questions instead of putting in the link, because you might not get them answered. And sorry, what you're just saying there about the EU, Andy, I don't mean to keep putting in, I just have to kind of, ask these questions.
No.
So
like you could,
if you put on a pair of leather shoes and you wear them all day, they're going to leave welts on your feet. You get me? And that's the way I see the EU. If you put a lovely pair of comfy slippers on and walk around all day, that's what the EU's doing. And that's all they're doing.
All you have to do is look over, say, the last 50 years, right, what the EU was, what European was like to Ireland. Down to the likes of when Ireland got into the Olympics and things and all like that, like years ago, you were treated like shit. Do you know what I mean? Just because now they're coming in, there's oil off the fucking west coast of Ireland. Suddenly there's a big interest in fucking Ireland. They'll treat us like shit. If they can wipe out the indigenous people, like, they can frack the fuck out of this land. It's never been fucking done or that. Do you know what I mean? They fucking rip it asunder.
Yeah, look, here's the thing as well about, like, when people say money's the root of all these IPAS centres and all everything that's going on, like the WEF and the EU have signed in them agendas already. So, like, no one's calling any shots in the Irish government at the moment. That they know it, like, Simon
Gilly
Harris.
Medby says she'd be up after a bowl of grass.
No worries.
She's a hippie.
So-
sorry, Anthony, she's a
Yeah.
hippie.
Oh,
Sorry, no, sorry. Going back to this 6 months thing. So you're in power 6 months. You'd be looking at the EU to be removed, possibly. Okay, probably wouldn't do it in 6 months. To be in all fairness,
yeah.
but looking at a military front, okay, would you consist of having an actual military? Would you bring it up to standard the same as say Norway?
Yeah, like we have, so we do actually have policies that we haven't furnished on this kind of stuff, national security stuff and all that as well. Like, we need massive secure. I'm trying to, sorry, bear with me a second. I'll see if I can actually pull up some of the stuff that we worked on in January on it. We haven't published anything. We've loads of stuff in the background going on that you need to do, like, fine tune and paperwork with the ELC and all that kind of stuff before you're allowed to have anything up. That's why people keep asking us about our policies.
So in other
they
words,
can't
it's
see
kind
them.
of scripted what you can say and what you can't say.
It can't be. No, it can't be. We can't put it out, let's say, until I think the National Party hit this massively when they were whatever they put out some branding or something like that, and they got taken down off them as well. That you can't furnish your policies out until they're accepted by the ELC, if you get me. The changes, which take 3 or 4 months and all this kind of nonsense, but it's a strong military front. But if I have it here to hand, I know Martin Murphy sent it to me.
Well, like I'm just saying to you, to be fair, I'm saying to you as, like, somebody that would be like, say, voting, and I'd be looking at that security front, and I'd like us to mirror something like a small country like, say, Norway or something like that, or Sweden, or Switzerland, and be excessive as much as them, as in regards to our air corps, our army, and probably even a cyber unit literally dedicated to this country.
Yeah, they, like, there's like, when you look at some of the security from a lot of other countries, even like Poland, the way they managed to keep, like, even well, they're a whole different kettle of fish. They obviously haven't had the influence of being bought over to some degree, where they have 98% indigenous people, but we're at something like 64% or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
we need to bring that back up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like, we
We
need
need women to go out there and make babies.
It's not only that, like, the damage can't just be stopped to what happened in this country. It has to be reversed. There has to be deportations. Like, there has to be, like, I ran with a policy when I was in the Irish Freedom Party. I started writing policy for it, and one was a homemakers bill, and it only applied to Irish people. And I brought it across to Ireland first, and it was either parent at home could stay at home for $450 a week, to afford family life again, to make having a family more affordable for Irish people.
In other words, bring family back to the table on a Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Because young people they can't get a house, and if they do, the two of them have to go out working, and their kids in childcare, and they just shoot up childcare costs.
Yeah, we see that. But like, the thing is, right, this is what, if I was to talk about deportation, right, and I wouldn't put it in a bad way, right, but what I would, the first 2 things I do is I'd cut off complete social welfare, because once your belly's full, you're okay. Once you've got a roof over your head, you're dry, you're clean. Those things are essential, okay? So you are giving the bare minimum of help then to anybody coming into the country, but they'll also know that they can't claim any sort of assistance here for the first 5 years of being here, okay? Otherwise, unless they have an actual proven track record of a trade, or they have a professional, like, say, like a doctor, a nurse, or something like that, and they have
stop asking questions, but each dinner. Sorry, man. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. You end the automatic entitlements that they get coming in here. Like, so I look after a man he's dementia, like, and the fight he had to get a medical card, and these are just been handed to, like, 20-year-olds when they get off the plane, like, with no passport and all that. Like, it's crazy. Like, you know, even
Yeah,
the
but you could have people down there, right? And I'm not saying this on a bad note. Like, a lot of people might think, "Are you crazy?" But if you get people from the colleges that are training to be nurses and doctors, okay, and you say, "Look, 2 times a week you're going down onto these parts where they're coming in, and we have this big centre, and you're going to give them whatever necessities they might need, but you'll have somebody that'll be like eyeballing over them." That,
yeah,
like, you're not taking their job away from them, if you understand, and you're not taking any pressure on our hospitals to look
yeah,
after these people. So they still are getting the actual essential medical care that they need.
yeah, yeah. No, I get you as well. Like, and even touching on that, like that's another massive issue we have is that people are coming in under false documentation to being doctors
Robert,
and nurses as well.
yes, I would. If I was any way a leader, yes, I would cut the medical card for people coming into this country, because the simple reason behind that is when you reach 16 years of age here, okay, you start paying taxes and PRSI and everything else into the government, okay,
Mhm.
and once you're about 2 years within your job, you're paying enough for you to be getting the health care that you desire, that you need, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
and if you do 20, 30 years in that job or 40 years in that job, well, I think you should be given a proper place. If you don't want to live in your home, you should be able to go to a care home and treat it fairly for the rest of your life,
yeah,
because you've worked your bollocks off to do so. And if you have any sort of medical treatment for you or your family because you've worked your nuts off, you should be able to get that medical card off the state. Nobody in this country should have to pay for medical treatment. You go to, like, the likes of Denmark, you'll be seen within a half an hour, 40 minutes in A&E. You
yeah.
won't be waiting like 12 hours or 14 hours or 2 days to be seen. Yeah, it's not that you're privileged because you go in there. It's the way the system's done. All the money that they take off the people is put back into their system to look
That's like
after the
Canada.
people.
That's like the medical system in Canada.
Yeah, but you need insurance in Canada. You don't need
No, you don't.
insurance in
No, no,
Ireland.
no. It's free. No, it's free medical in Canada. It's down in, when you go down south into the likes of New York and all, like the United States. An ambulance will turn up when you're out on the deck and they'll be like, "Have you got insurance?" No, leave them there. You're up and gone.
You know, one of the things I
Okay.
did when I was there, like when I looked at the leaflets that were being done, and I'm not putting any parties down or anything like that, but my leaflet, like I sat down with a couple of teachers, a couple of nurses last summer, and I said, what would incentivize ye to stay in this country? What could I write? What policy could I do that would say to you, right, I'm going to stay here rather than going to Australia or wherever else? And they were saying, well, like, there's real simple stuff. Like, they were like there's no mobility system. So if I live in Carlow and I get put in Beaumont Hospital and I want to transfer to Portlaoise, there's no system that you, like, if you're in the civil service, let's say you are, even the guards or whatever like that, you put your name in a database, and then it, you know, when jobs come up, you go up the ladder on it or whatever. When people leave or retire or whatever like that, like, it's just real hassle for them. They just get landed where they are and they're there for years. They're saying there's real, the teachers are the same.
Andy, can I just interject on what you're saying there? Sorry, I don't. I get a bit. I'm sorry the way I do this, but see what you're saying there with regards to HSEs that would have trouble, and teachers that would have trouble traveling from all parts of the country. Okay, now the model I'd look at there, if I was going to put that to the people that want to stay here and work here, right? Why not have actual private buses just for them, like educational and HSE, within the whole route of Ireland? Okay,
Yeah.
like actual little mini buses that are dedicated to them to bring the staff to and back from work. Okay, and you know those what are you called, go cars? Yeah, like a special pass that's paid by HSE for them to be able to, if you have a full license, obviously, and insurance, take one of them cars and go to work.
No,
Like
but
what?
just a better thing. Just pay the trainee nurses.
Yeah, I
Just pay
understand.
them and they'll stay
Yeah,
here.
yeah, but if you, what I'm saying is not the Chinese nurses. I'm talking about the actual nurses that want to live. And then another incentive.
No, that's the thing, though, Giddy. In order to become a nurse, right, they have to go and work in the hospital and do it for free. They have to work the first few years for free, and then when they get that medical that thing, where they can become a proper nurse, that's when they leave. They leave then because they have to they got to learn and everything about it,
Yeah,
So
but
they fuck off to a different place. Then they get a job where they're getting paid money, but as a
yeah, but I'm,
nurse here, they get nothing.
yeah, but I'm looking at incentive to keep them there. So
Yeah.
if you knew this was available to you, so just bear with me and I'll just let me explain what I mean. So
if you're working within those systems, right, whether it be education or HSE, yeah, you could put it out further to other different sorts of jobs that would be professional in that sort of game as well, okay? But then particularly because they hold up the whole country, okay, would be
Look,
houses.
I think it's the youth coming up as well. That's who you need to get the mindset on and staying here, because the narrative is being poured out to them is go off and see the world.
Yeah, but
Do
you
you
have
know
no
what I
mind.
mean? The last thing we need now is our youth leaving this fucking island, like, and with what's coming in. We need everybody here.
There's no incentive there for them, because when they're sitting in school at 17, 18 years of age, they're looking at it and they're not seeing anything that's there
But that's the
available.
thing. Without them, there's no us.
Yeah, but
Do you know
that's
what I mean?
what I'm
We
trying to
need them to
explain to you.
continue in this country.
See, what
Yeah,
I think that has to happen as well is that, like, so another thing with the nurses was for every year consecutive they do after qualification, that they get an incentive of a couple of grand or being paid off their college fees or whatever like that. That would be like if you did this 1 year, and if you didn't break that year, if you didn't go to Australia, you didn't go anywhere, you do the second year, you get that money back as well from the government, that it would incentivize you to stay 5-6 years, whatever it was. But all these things, whether teachers or nurses, you have to start with housing first, because they'll be still
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was just going to get. That's what I was going to just say, Anthony. But just if you bear with me, go back to what I was saying. So basically, if these people that are going through college, right, they're paying like what 12 to 14 grand a year to do so, right? To become a nurse, to become a doctor, to become whatever in educational purpose, whatever it is, right, for the first 4 years before they're qualified. Okay, so that's 14 grand a year. So if the government, if you were in government, could you change that to saying, we'll pay that for you, okay? But the only catch is, we need 5 years of your labour in our hospitals and in our schools before you could head off to the likes of Australia. But on top of that, the incentive would be you'd have more or less free access to getting forward from work. You get 20% off your house because you work for the HSE or you work in education.
Mm-hmm.
And your wage will match anybody else across the world. Yeah. Now, if they wouldn't stay for them fucking things, there'd be something seriously wrong other than sunshine. You can't bring that for them, but I'm sure that'd keep them in the country. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're paying for their education for the 4 years, so they're not struggling. They've got digs, and they're getting the qualifications they need.
In Scotland, they're able to do it. People go to Scotland to become teachers because it's free there, and then they just fly back then or whatever. Like, if other countries are able to do it, we should be able to do it. If the problem is, it'll never be done with the current government in, because they're just rolling out, the way this new world order is going to be, the Agenda 2030 and all that, and that is very fucking real. Like, so
Yeah, it is.
Like it's so, like, it has to be. We have to be building something that will, and look, I'm not the expert in everything. That's why I'm trying to surround myself with all these experts in different fields. Because even if we have candidates that will run, let's say them doctors and teachers don't want to run, then
yeah, but you can only have experts that are like, when I think of school, right, I think of simply a mother that has 4 kids or 2 kids or 3 kids, or they grew up in a big family themselves. That's an expert in my eyes, not somebody that went to get an education and a piece of paper.
I think it's a mix of them, because I think there's admin issues inside the school system that they know everything about, and they can tell you what's coming down the line, let's say, you know what I mean? And also, like, there's concerned parents in there only, they're still in them committees, and they throw it in there. Because they're the people who are going to be banging down the doors of the schools, like, and saying enough's enough. Like, you get the Irish man who's behind you. You've won this, But
as you said, though, Anthony, like, they were that Christmas being changed to winter time thing or something.
Yeah.
Bit by bit, they're stripping the schools off. They're stripping the kids down and indoctrinating them to think in a different way. Like, my uncle is doing his junior cert, and why the fuck does he have to know things about Islam? He's a Christian, right? He went through school as a Christian, as we did. And now the secondary school has forced them now to learn about Islam.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you see that book they put out there, this family, Islam family or whatever, that day at the mosque or whatever they call it for primary school. And the problem is, I spoke with Philip Dwyer about this, and I see my friend's wife commented there. You always get these kind of lefty people, just saying, like, we don't want religion in schools. What are you talking about? The thing is, right, if I went into certain schools, 100%, right, only for my son is nearly finished in his primary school, I'd be pulling him out. I just wouldn't do it for his friends now. My other 2 kids won't go there, though. But there's the pride colours on the wall, and there's Islam on the wall. There's no cross. You know, it's not that they want to take religion out; they want to take Christianity out of Ireland. So you can see they're facilitating Islam everywhere they can, Muslims everywhere they can. So like it's real agenda filled. Like I think the West, you know, was built on the Christian values. Even though I'm not saying that I go to mass every Sunday. I think being Christian is different than being, you know, a devout Roman Catholic, but it's still the same moral compass you're going off. That you know, respect one another, all that kind of thing, rather than try take over, which is what these lads are trying to do.
Can I just say something to you there, Anthony? I stayed in the UK for a long time, and I've seen this happen with my own eyes, and this is going back over 20 years ago. And my own sister turned around to me and says, "You're mad." That's what she used to say to me, "You're mad." And I says, "I'm not mad." And I says, "You watch Ireland getting taken down by these people." And regards to like Muslims, not just them, but migrants coming into the country. And I was telling her this 20 years ago. And she was like, "That's never going to happen." And like people were saying to me, "You're off your mallet." People thought that I was drinking too much or something. But now it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're not putting a stop to it by doing marches. Like, is there not a legal aspect now as to being called mongrels? Is there not a legal aspect to it now that we can go to the court and say?
Just saying about that. You know who I drove by the other day? Yesterday, I drove by. I was driving through Limerick, like I said, and that councillor who said the Irish people need to be dragged out and shot. I didn't even recognize him. He looked like a fucking homeless guy on the street. Drove by him. It was like down a one way, and the person in the car said to me, "That's that guy who said, you know." I said, "What? That guy?" He just walked out of. But like you just see, there's no recourse for these people. The likes of Cannon or the likes of that guy going to slice the kids and all this kind of thing. Like they can walk free until they're forced. Like I don't know if the legal.
Yeah, but that's why we need the likes of Ireland forced in. That's why we need the National Party in. That's why we need these parties in government. Whether you all don't talk together, you don't get on together. We need these sort of people in government. Do you understand? If we don't get them in, but then we're always going to be left in that predicament of a lefty culture.
Yeah, that's it. And you know what? When the whole National Alliance thing was going on, like there was a little bit of stone thrown back and forth, and I was only kind of new to the political scene, kind of, and I was like, "Jeez, like, you know, if we get in, a few of us and a few of them, we're going to have to shake hands with these guys and say, yeah, we know who the enemy is, and I need you to back this motion I'm going to put in the doll here." And Andy, you
can shake hands with them, and you can still wipe your hand off your pocket. Do you get me?
Yeah, like, but like, you don't need to. Like, we're here. Like, we're big boys, like, you know, put the personal stuff aside. And look, people might look at me and say, "Geez, that's rich coming from him." But like, I only very rarely defended myself with all this stuff. Like, you'd be hard pressed. I never said anything about any other party member. Just when Herman came after me, I retaliated once or twice. But like,
sorry, can I just answer something there to somebody? Paul, no, what I'm saying to you is, if you look at the UK system, okay, where they turned around and said a woman's a woman, okay, and they went against this woke ideology, basically, where, you know, trans men should be allowed to go to women's toilets, and they turned around and they said, no, a woman's a woman, okay? That's what I mean. I'm talking about this rhetoric that's going across our system as regards to, we should teach our kids this, that, and the other, and we should have these pride flags everywhere, and Islam should come into schools, take away Our Lady, what we all grew up with, what we'll never understand. And they tried to put it that way to us as well, that we don't understand. This is the way of the new thinking. It's not the way of new thinking. This is what Europe has put in England 20 years ago and is now pushing to put it in Ireland now. And then 20 years, when we look forward, if we let it happen, don't make the same mistake as the English did. We stand up, we fight through the court system and against their own system and get our own people in. Because if UKIP, or let's say the National Party over in England, had it getting in 20 years ago, there'd be none of that shit. There'd be none of that crap happening over there. But because they didn't, and we didn't stand up, they didn't get out and march, and they didn't do it. Instead, they got a bunch of hooligans going out, "I don't like the colour of your skin." That's about as far as they went.
Yeah,
we didn't do that.
This is maybe what something good might come of these rallies as well. The people who aren't seeing eye to eye will all be in the same place, and I think the whole national movement should hold everyone accountable. That does cause divide in that regard. Like, I did a call out for bit of unity there recently, and it was in the middle of getting attacked. So instead of doing an attack video back, I said, let the nationalist movement decide who the leader is. Let them look at all the parties and decide what's the best banner or what has the best structure, and let them call it, because we're not elected. You know, we are only here because people are supporting us to push forward. That's it. So none of us are any different. We're just just trying to do it a different way or whatever. So I think that if
I think what you need to be doing is, I think what all parties that, like, and this is my honest opinion, and you can either take it or not take it, but get a couple of barristers that know the law of this land and sit down with them and say, right, look, here's how does it work with this, that, and the other, and sit down and look at every situation that might come across and mask itself at you, and then be able to go into that court and say, but no, hold on a minute. This is what it should be.
But this is what our legal committee is doing, and there's a couple of people in that are really strong. Like there's like
but they need to be barristers.
And Teresa Murphy, and there's another woman there who doesn't want to be named. But like there's a couple of.
Sorry, Andy. Can I just? I don't mean to keep cutting over you, but if you look at, remember when the barristers and solicitors turned around and says we're going to protest this, that, and the other. It didn't even last 24 hours. Didn't even last 48 hours. They just done what they were asked to do because they knew what was going to be impending for them. The point is, if you've got a strong hold of people, so if you've got, say, a couple of retired solicitors and a couple of retired barristers that know the law of this land, and somebody that is well capable, like a professor that studied it. Now, I know it's going to be very difficult for you to get those.
This is our whole angle. This is like, so we have June 28th is our info night, and that's trying to sell it to people who can help. This is the committees. You can go in there anonymously if you're a solicitor or barrister if you want, or if you're retired, you can go in there. You don't have to be face front, and you don't have to be, your name doesn't have to be said. And I have that in there as well. You can go in there. It's selling. What do we need as a country, right? Build a committee on it and try and get them people on board, and get all them solicitors and everyone who can in there to funnel their expertise.
If you look at every single politician, right, and I'm not trying to pick up for them, right? Look at the very day when they first started, okay, and now look at them now as a person, as a human being, as a person. They went in fresh and healthy, and now, like, their hair is falling out. The women look like their hair is thinned. They look stressed. They look worried. They're working 24/7 around the clock, but they're working for the wrong reasons. They could have a much healthier and better life if they looked after this country a bit better. That's what the problem is.
This is the thing as well. Like, a big part of this where people are like, I fucking hate politicians, and they're aiming at national politicians. But national politicians aren't politicians. None of their family are in it. They're just people who are like we'll fucking meet you where ye are, and they're realizing that the people in the Dáil aren't experts at all. And when they're challenged, they crumble. Me and Tom McDonald, right? So we both ran in Kildare South. And we were going to this GAA field, right? This event that was asked the candidates. And we knew we were like Fianna Fáil, the candidate had just put 10 grand into it the week before, into that GAA club. And we knew it was going to be hell. And Tom was like, I'm not doing this. And I said, Tom, we do it because let's show them that we can go toe to toe with them. We've nothing to hide. So let them ask their questions. We should be putting them under fire here. It's nearly the stronger voices who can get the information. So there's a couple of people feeding us with information and statistics and stuff like that. And that's good. We have the mic. We're getting like recognition, whatever like that. And people are listening to us and following us.
I'd be very honest with you, Anthony. If I was in your predicament right now, right, being Ireland First or National Party or whatever, okay, use as the two parties that want to do something for this country. And I know people are going to get a little bit upset by what I'm about to say here, but listen, bear with me. Ask McGregor, would he fund you? Ask him straight out, would he fund them two parties in this country, and let him stand behind it financially? And bigger, then he'd be obviously a lot more wealthier than these lot, yeah? Mm-hmm. And the things that he could push out better. Like, do you understand what I'm getting at there?
100%.
Funding is a lot of things there that are involved in this sort of game. And regardless of anybody,
I think like McGregor, you'd want McGregor talking for you. You know,
no. He's not a political person, but he'd be a good investor.
God's got a voice.
But yeah, what I keep saying, he's not the choice, but like he's the voice. The minute he opens his fucking mouth, Do you know what I
No,
mean?
just-
If the
I
world,
don't
the world is
know.
looking at him. It's not only the politicians here, but the world is looking at him. You look how much fucking the government shit herself when he started talking that time.
Yeah.
Like Trump brought over Mihal into the yoke, talked about how great Ireland was and everything. It was big smiles on their face, and then put McGregor up on a fucking podium in front of the world to tell them what was really going on. And
Well,
the
look,
words that came out of his mouth was the right bleeding words. And do you know what? Ever since then, Ireland there's an awful lot of people, like even Americans now, starting to recognise, what's going on here.
I spoke to McGregor a few times privately. Like, so last year around June, I was talking to him and I just ran the locals and I was chatting away to him and all this kind of thing. But then recently, before the big 26th protest, right? So I play music in the Black Forge on the 26th afterwards. And that day I went in around 11 o'clock to the Black Forge and McGregor came in and the place was empty. My brother works there and I was chatting away to him for a few minutes and asked him if he was going back in or whatever like that. I went there the next day and he was there as well. And he brought me up to the table. I've met him a few times in there. And the night that we were all there as well, chatting away, he knows me well. He knows my family and that, like, now. And he follows me. He tweets me back and forth a little bit. Now, we're having our info night in the Black Forge on June 28th upstairs in the Bentley room. So it's a kind of thing where if you catch him, the only time you can communicate with him is if you catch him early in the night, and also if you catch him on X when he's tweeting at the same time, he'll pick it up. Other than that, he'll just get buried. So it's kind of difficult. I was.
Sorry, Andy, do you know when you were doing that? And I know I'm being very cheeky here, but would you mind us coming with you to do a cast from there at that time?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, 100%. What we're doing is we're going up there at 4:30 on the 28th. That's for the members of Ireland First. And then at 5 o'clock, people are coming in. It's going to be live streamed. And we're going to do like a presentation of kind of the committees, the layout of our structure, like I'm telling you now, and the different angle we have. Because we feel like the structure is what's important to all this. A lot of people are asking questions there. Why isn't it called ERA? And that's a really good, like you might notice in my last few videos or my last videos for a good while, I'm saying the people of ERA. It is very important because that is the nation other than the state. Ireland First was a party before I joined it, and it takes months for things, like I said earlier, to change over. I can't change the name of that party yet. There's so much stuff. There was a couple of nationalists who put in disagreements with me becoming the party president, and now that has to get over the line before all our changes have to get over the line. That's the honest truth. So now, but the likes of the name ERA will be incorporated.
Well, to be fair, I like what you're doing at the moment. I'm actually quite impressed with what you said there tonight. I understand there's a lot more that has to be, pushed into it. But yeah, like you say, what was it, the 26th or 28th?
28th, it's a Saturday. It's 28th of June in the Black Forge upstairs. And afterwards, we're all going to go for a pint. And you know what? Like downstairs, and that's when, and in fairness to Connor, right? I said to him, look, Connor, I've been trying to book somewhere to launch this party, and they're throwing us away. And that's true. They were saying, what is like this? And we had to try to pretend we were something else, and it wasn't working. They weren't letting us book anywhere. And Connor's like, you're having it here. Show him the Bentley room. He didn't even charge us. That's the truth. And he was like, look, let this be the place of nationalism, Anthony. Like, no one will ever refuse you here. Even if that's his contribution. Will he get behind the party? The question is there. Like, he said to me, he doesn't know because he's not sure if politics is the way out of this. But
well, Andy, you're going to be down in Cork anyway on Saturday, yeah? So myself, Mousy, and Boots will introduce ourselves.
Deadly, yeah, do, because I'm staying down for 3 points after as well. And that's when the chats happen,
Yeah, well, I'd actually like to pick your brain about a few things. And anyway, if you get that chance to have a chat with us, like off record, like off here, you know what I mean? And because like we're very much interested in this sort of stuff, and would like to see the future.
From being both Sinn Féin and Ireland First, and some people are like, pick one. I don't think you have to pick one. Like, why can't I be in the football club and the fucking book club kind of thing? Like it's there's a few.
You can support more than 2 football teams, can't you?
Yeah, well, this is it. Like, and I think it's a multi-pronged approach. Like you have to meet them at the streets and meet them in Dáil and meet them everywhere that the enemy is attacking on all fronts. So why not get involved with every way you can? That's the way I'm doing it. So my speech will be about Sinn Féin, but I'll have Ireland First bit there, and I'll be chatting to a lot of people about it.
Yeah, well, like we'd look forward to that, like that would be actually something to look forward to now.
Yeah, I've actually
Sorry,
jump on.
Bouncy Boots, are you all up for that? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm up for that. Yeah,
Boots.
on the 28th.
I think
What
he's
is
gone
it?
on.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're
No,
having
I'm
that.
here.
Are you there, Boots?
Yeah. What's it?
So, Anthony is having a committee. Is it a committee meeting? Just explain it to again there, Anthony.
It's like an info night, right? So first of all, like in the Black Forge, the 28th of June, it's a Saturday at 5:00. We're going up to the Bentley room upstairs, and we're just showing everyone. It'll be live streamed as well, but there'll be a little private bar up there, and we're showing everyone. People can meet us, like, and then we're showing like a PowerPoint presentation what angle where our party's coming about, and then afterwards we're all going to go downstairs to just have a few drinks together and all that kind of crack.
Oh, he sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good.
And we'll be going there in the capacity of Trigger Podcast. Like, so you wouldn't mind, like, obviously with the things that can be seen and things that won't be seen, you wouldn't mind us like doing that, would you?
Oh, sure, it's
It's
going to be
put
live,
live, isn't it? It's going to be live that day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be live anyway. It's going to be live.
Well,
So you can set up Paul as well. Paul will be, Paul Fitzsimmons. I don't know if you know. Like
we do,
Yeah,
we know.
Yeah, he'll be setting up like whatever way. We've a media team, Ireland First media team as well. A couple of the girls and all that. So they'll be trying to set up.
Well, we'll only push it out a little bit further for you. Like I say, this is only started this account really. If you actually look at Derek Mousey right there, that's in the box here above you. He has like 25,000 people following nearly. You know what I mean? And he has constant pushing out nationalism stuff constantly right across this platform.
Oh yeah.
And if you look at me, when you see me on TikTok, and anyway, I've 18,000 odd followers, and I'm the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
18,000. When you think about that many people with phones in their hand, like following what you're saying, it is mad. Like it is a massive audience. So like. Yeah, well, look, we're hoping we won't be stopping at that one either. We'll be doing other stuff. And look, if McGregor, I'm going to try and see if I can get McGregor there. He was meant to be at the last one. He texted me 3 a.m. on the 26th after the thing, and he said, "Sorry, I went to a park and fell asleep somewhere." But he was like, I'm hoping that he'll come and sit in or listen in or even watch the stream to join us or something like that. So. That'd be great.
Well, if he does. I'm more interested in the fact that what Ireland Force can bring to the table. I'm more interested in the fact of what it could be looking like for the future, because you've only got, like, if you think about realistic now, we've got 3 years before the next elections.
Well, our big thing, we're going to be a 32 county party. We're going to go north, and that means that we're going to go across the seas and try and appeal to the American Irish, try and say, we need ye fighting this with us, this kind of thing. I can try and get the funding as well that way and try and just outnumber these lads.
That was a kind of like Charlie Hottie blow you wanted though.
Yeah, like it was, but the money, you can't get any funding from any other countries. It's a real weird thing if you're in the Republic of Ireland. If you're 32 county, all of a sudden that all opens up to you. Where if people are looking at what's happening in Ireland, they're sickened by it, then they can help. And it's not the number one way of doing it, but it's our way of. Like, if you get a national party funded, then you're onto something. Then you have something. At the moment, we're going to try and release, like, I know Paul has his Irish column show and all that kind of thing, but we're trying to release a more structured news bulletin, like an Irish news kind of thing, and it'll have different members of the committee coming up.
You do know you can get a TV station, don't you?
How do you go about doing that? Maybe
I'll explain it off this. I'll explain it off this, and you can use it actually in the Republic of Ireland. And I'll explain it off this. When I do see it, I'll explain it to you. Yeah, and you can also get your own radio station.
Class, very good. Yeah, because we were looking at that, and none of us were experts on it. So that's where we're kind of appealing to people who.
I'm not an expert on it, but I can show you. Like with the 3 of us around you, yeah, trust me, we get you fixed up with all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, easy. Well, more reason to grab a whiskey together, lads, and fucking put our heads together. Look, there's only. I actually don't. You know what? This is the God's honest truth. I offered the presidential role to 2 people before I took it, and it's not because I was afraid to do it or anything like that, but I just needed to know it was the right person doing it. Like, it doesn't. All I want to see is the best thing we can put forward. That's it. Like, everyone's expertise all put together into it, everyone coming together. And I've been reaching out to other parties in the background saying, let's put our heads together here. You know what I mean? Like we know the enemy is in the one place there in Dáil Éireann, and we need to remember that. Like the tricolour should stand above all of our banners. That's the way it has to be.
It should be out every council office right across the whole of this country, and there should be no other thing painted on no road. It should be literally just air flag. We understand that.
Yeah.
We understand that totally. And that's what we're about. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
And we do it absolutely free. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, that's the way we've done this for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Just kept on pushing and getting people to, like, somebody bring up in a comment to me the other day there, when 3 years ago, when I first started asking about people going out protesting at the iPass centres, at a very early stage when there was nobody really coming out and it was always the same faces. I sat there one day and I said to people on the live, I said to them, I'd love to see the streets full of 100,000 people. And 3 years later, my wish came true. That's what happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we pushed it or we done it, but I'm saying everybody that committed, sit down, like everybody says TikTok this and YouTube that, it's all bullshit, it's this, that. But for every person that sat down and said, go to that protest, for every person that said, get out on the street, put your feet on the ground, and they're doing it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. That's it.
You know what I mean?
It's boots on the ground is going to be what you need. Like I was at that City West Saggart Concerned Citizens meeting last Monday. I drove from Limerick to get to it, and I went into it. And
we need a bulletin board for that, Andy. We need to see them sort of things, right? Yeah. We need something that, like, you know, that everybody across the board gets text, and told there's a meeting, right? Yeah. And have the meetings full right outside the door into the car park with a bleeding microphone if it need be. You know what I mean? So people could be there. Like yesterday, I went up to me and Mousy went up to that one that rolling. What was it? The thing from Saggart. The rolling protest up in Saggart yesterday. That was a great idea. Do you know what I mean? Because we don't want City West bought by the government and to put 3,000 people in there.
Yeah, 100%.
And leave a permanent picture.
We did a thing with Shinadina, right? And this was trying to be an incentive. It was a national calendar because people were upset that Malachy had one thing here and John Malloy had another thing here. And John Malloy rang me and I said, John, why don't you move yours to 12 and Malachy has his 2 and just go from one to the other and all that. And neither of them would really back down. They weren't talking to each other. So I said that, look, to stop this from happening in the future, here's a nationalist calendar that Shinadina will do. Shinadina is not a political group. So all the nationalist parties and all the says no's can put in their events they have up and everyone can click on it and see. But now I've been looking at an Ireland First calendar for the members as well, that they can see like a month in advance what we're going to go to, so that they'll know we're going to be attending this. Like, so like I'll be at let's say the Marcus de Bruyne thing next Tuesday in Dublin. So I'll be like, I'm going to get there. I want some of the health committee guys there, and we're going to do an interview there, and we're going to show that we're showing up to that. You know, when just people.
Would you not get an app for that, Andy? Like get an Ireland Force app, literally that people would see the events and they download it on the phone and they come up automatically.
Be a great shout, 100%. There's so much I'd love to do, and we're being so stifled. Like we don't even have a proper website up at the moment because we're not allowed branding. That's how bad it is. So if you went into IrelandFirst.ie, you'd see Ireland First with no branding at all behind it. One page, join or donate, and then the Black Forge thing up on it. Like we have branding all done and made. It's just such like they make it so difficult for the likes of us. And you do have people who say they're nationalists who are putting in stuff against us. They're targeting people over personal stuff and all that, and it's slowing us down.
Listen, you'll always get big, massive heads that want to fit in the doorway too.
Yeah.
But you only need one decent chef in the kitchen to make that meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, look, we're giving it a bash, and it is. You know what? I can tell you, the workload is massive. Like even after this, now I'll go onto a Zoom that started at 8.
You'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, just had to drop for a sec.
No worries,
like I was saying, I got the kids to bed there, crawl out of the room and stuck on this, but I'm going to be on a Zoom. They're actually on it already. I said I'd jump onto this instead for a little while, but like that's all about our presence on Saturday and stuff like that. Tuesday night, Thursday night, and then you have the shows in between we're trying to get to, and any other event, and then you've work on the kids and all that crack in the middle. But look, it's and you do. It's mad. People are like, why don't you all just shake hands? It's like, yeah, I wish we could, but it's not that simple.
I wish. Listen, I'd love to see that happen, but to be fair, Anthony, that. Do you know what? Like John Malloy, right? And I'm not being bad when I say this, right? But where did he even pop from?
See, this
I'm being honest.
This is the thing as well. There's people around the movement who are. I'm not saying John Malloy is one of these people. I'm just saying there's people around the movement who are waving flags who aren't nationalists, and people at the helm of some place of parties who aren't nationalists and will never shake hands, and they're there to make sure hands are never shaken. Like I think there's like, and everyone hates to hear the infiltrators and all this kind of thing, but the state have a massive hand in Irish nationalism. Like, be sure there is 100%. There is people scattered.
You're gonna get the snakes that are gonna come in and they're gonna befriend you and smile at you and everything else and wait until the last second and then let you down.
Listen, I tell you a scary one, a really scary one. And Sinn Féin, when we kicked it off initially, there was one guy tagging along with us the whole time, and it turned out that he was. We're nearly 90% sure that he's a Garda investigator, and he was in there. He was recording people. He was taking PPS numbers. He gave us a fake name. He had a fake address. All this kind of stuff. He's embedded in the movement. He told lies about us, and hundreds believed it. It was crazy. I'm still repairing the damage he's done, but he's still in the movement there, and he's after making a name for himself. And I won't name or out him now, and I have done it plenty of times, but. We traced him back to a Garda station in Ballymote. Like, it's crazy. I went to meet Tom McDonald to tell him about it because he was going across west with this man doing that. Remember when the storm was there? And I said, Tom, I have to put you wide about something, because I was afraid Tom was going to say something that was going to, in the car with your mom, not knowing. And two Gardas followed us into the petrol station, and we're sitting across from us and all. It was like. You get tracked, you get traced, you get followed. It's mad. People wouldn't believe the stuff that goes on when you're heading up something. But
listen, I'm not behind the door. I'm 49 years of age. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know about the aspect of let's say criminal underworld as well, and I know the way that they used to work with them. And I've done security as well, so I kind of. As a VIP stance as well. Do you know what I mean? So I know what way the police work, and I was 2 feet away from the Queen, believe it or not, doing security.
Yeah. It's mad.
So I do know how they do it and what way they do things. There's so many things that you got to look at, and that's why you need people with security experience around you.
It is, because I was told from people up north that they're crying for a party up north, and then I was told, if you bring Sinn Féin north, that there's a bullet already loaded for you. There was this kind of talk for a long time, different anonymous phone calls and all this kind of stuff. And you have
Can I say something on that? Can I say something on that? Any man that's up the north that's willing to lock and load, against another Irish man in this country for anything like that at all, he is not part of that movement. He is going after Irish, and that funding comes from the Irish. They need to remember that. And they'll lose all funding, and they'll lose everything that the South or anybody that has ever had respect for them. They'll get nothing for going around saying that they're going to kill an Irishman.
Yeah, but these aren't really part of the movement, let's say. But the less said, maybe the safer on that. But kind of people can probably read through the lines themselves. But
everybody can be like that, like any man can be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you're getting big funding out of places, they want to be careful what they're saying to people.
Yeah, and we will be a 32 county party. Now that might mean that it's going to mean that there's going to have to be a different president for the Northern Ireland who knows the lay of the land, and that's generally the way they navigate these things. But like, want to be like, I'm not half-arsing it. Like I'd be sickened to walk away from politics and think that there was nothing really properly structured to, like, the best we can do it, the absolute best, And I do think that going to these rallies, I might get more on board and more powerful people, more influential people around the movement, and that's what it's all about. Just getting all the heads together. Like, if we manage to form something, look, I think I would love unity.
I think what you need to do is, I think, as a party, as a whole, you'd have, like, say, roughly
this is just an opinion, something that you might use in the future.
Yeah.
10 people that you can 110% trust,
Yeah.
okay, which is very hard to find.
It is.
And each one of them have their own individual thing that they have people, like let's say soldiers below them, yeah, and
Yeah.
then they feed out the information, and you kind of deal with the cards at the top of the deck, and you
Yeah.
feed it out to these 10
Well,
people,
this-
and then 10 people
you know,
feed it
it's
out
good.
to another 10.
It's good you're saying that, because we have an AC, which is our core, which is like the top seats of the party, and each member of an AC is like, so Tom is the head over community, right? So he's going out and he's building houses for disabled kids, and he's getting out and he's this, that, and the other. So he feeds into that WhatsApp group of community, and then Teresa is head over legal, so she feeds into that, and that's what we're trying to do. And Paul is the media, so he's a lot of the girls working in there for him, and that's what we're trying to do as well. So you're bang
Can
on
I,
with.
can I give you something that's just bench basic, yeah? And just an opinion for you to try, yeah? And if you could, with anything that you could do, right? There's loads of dormant warehouses up around, on the nice road there, where the old Fiat place used to be. That's down there dormant for donkeys, yeah? If there was some case that Ireland Force could somehow rescue that building,
Yeah.
in other words, rent it or whatever it may be the case, or get it funded to be rented. And you don't need planning permission to put people in them now anymore, do you? Because they're allowed to do it with migrants, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if you put homeless on the streets in there, what's wrong with you doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, like I know there's people going around trying to do these things as well. Like 100%, you can look at all that stuff. Like it really, there's so much to tackle, and you need so many people.
I'm just saying, you as a party,
Yeah.
do you not understand? Like that will raise an eyebrow with a lot of people that you're doing something like that.
Yeah,
Rather than fixing the potholes in the road. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think we were going to do something similar with Shinadina, but it stuff it's crazy. It's another story.
There's plenty of chefs out there, yeah, that are retired, that would happily go up there for a couple of hours to feed people. There's plenty of people that, like, look what happened at Apollo House, right? It doesn't have to be exactly in that stature, but what I'm saying is you have plenty of people that are willing to help, that get beds, get mattresses, get the whole shebang. And you get workmen that are like willing to dedicate a few hours at a time to build these rooms within those buildings, to put these people in, to make sure they're off the streets. Come next year, there's not one person lying rough that's Irish that lives on these streets. And by all means, turn away people that are foreign, because you're getting it off the state.
Yeah, 100%. Like I was down with the Irish Lives Matter. I don't know if you know Jerry McNamara. He was thrown under the bus for standing beside me. It was fairly rough, but he looks after the Irish homeless only. Now he said himself he would never turn away someone starving, but he's prioritized and built it for the Irish homeless. But he's doing massive work there as well. But like we have a lot of projects that even Tom, that'll be kind of on Tom's neck of the woods, that he's trying to do as well. But we need more people in as well to help us. There's so much. Like even now, I'm probably gonna have to jump off in a minute because Sarah's.
Yeah, well, we actually end the live in another like 5 minutes or so. Anyway.
Yeah,
so,
but yeah, look, the more people, the easier it'll be as well to do it, because like there's people who want us to stand outside, the graveyards with coffins first, and there's people who want us to stand outside the council buildings with homeless or people that are on the list for, and it's just trying to get to the paperwork over the line, and then getting, there's rallies of the weekend and manage the life, and then just try and get out to these things. But the more people we're getting in, and we're getting loads, like more and more people are joining every day, then the likes of this thing in June, this where all the ideas can come together and be written down, and we should do this for that date, and that's when we can start rowing.
Well, Andy, I followed you on X there the day before. I sent you a link to this as well on X before, so actually trying to get you over as soon as I could. But we will carry on, and we will keep on following you. So on the last note, JPF, you came up into the box here. Is there anything you'd like to add to this?
I was just we were talking about there the immigration in the country. My phone died. I kind of forgot where I was at, but I just said I'd jump on and say, well done, boys, well done, Anthony, well done, fair play to you, putting it out there, you know what I mean? And I'll see you all Cork Saturday, and I'll see you all 22nd Dublin.
Yeah, definitely, JP.
Yeah, and I forgot where I was at. I forgot where I was at, but I was going to add to the conversation. But look, we'll do it again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not as
thanks for
easy as
coming
when
up,
you
JP,
think
yeah.
when you coming up.
It'll only be Saturday. We might be seeing each other anyway. It's only a couple of days away.
Yeah,
not a
definitely
problem.
100%. Definitely
Oh,
100%, Andy. We definitely want to meet up with you. You'll see us. You can't miss me. Fuck me. Like, but no, seriously, we do need to meet up and we need to have a chat, even before the speaking or whatever, because
Yeah.
we'll be down there fairly early and anyway.
Class.
And yeah, it's been lovely having you in, Anthony, and thanks very much
Yeah,
for
thanks,
what
Andy,
you
for
said
coming
there.
up.
Shout, lads. Fair play.
okay,
Thanks a lot.
And
Cheers, bro, yeah.
if you can ever get Derek to come up with you, more than
Yeah.
welcome. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody, for that matter of fact.
Yeah.
That's the Ireland force that would like to talk and like to put it out there, because this channel is building. Like, we've only got this channel like, what's it, 4 or 5 weeks now, Mouse, is it?
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe. And we're
Yeah,
already up to like
I'd get
1,500 like,
people
subs on it.
advertise it through the Shinadine and Ireland First channels as well to get a few more people in and all that. You know, be deadly.
Yeah, we'd love to hear more from like what you're going to do to the country. Do you know what I mean? And if you did get into power, like I say, but that's for another time. We can talk about it again. And all I'm going to say to you, Andy, is thanks very much for coming up, and
Yeah.
hope to see you again.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
JP, for coming up, bro.
yeah.
nice
Look,
one. Nice one, boys. Go on, sound the see you Saturday. Go on.
I see you down
I'll
Cork,
talk to you
yeah,
then.
JP.
Right,
Right,
Mousy,
nice and giddy, yeah.
we're going to call it a day on it, yeah?
Yeah.
Right,
I thought you'd come on anyway.
anybody in the comments, let's see. Hold on. Right, so everybody that's dead with us through thick and thin there, thanks for coming in. We'll see you on Sunday. We're coming on for about an hour. It's
Nice
just
and
a
Robert.
chill cast. Going over what we talked about, probably what happened on Saturday, and we'll be back again next Thursday at 7 o'clock or 7:30. We'll decide how lazy we want to be.
Now all these boots.
Boots, we'll be going on the WhatsApp chat there in a bit, so have a chat there, we will, for a second. So guys, we're going to be looking at getting a WhatsApp phone sorted out for the next podcast. So we'll be able to get people ringing in if you want to ask questions to the people who we'll be bringing up. We're going to be looking for more people to come in from different parties. And like I say, wherever we go, whatever we do, we always look for funding, and we're always grateful, whether it be a penny or a pound, it doesn't really matter. Any help, it'll be great. So on that note,
Thanks,
lads, I'm
everybody, for
going
coming in. Pat,
good night.
Caspar, Robert, Sean, Kathleen, Davina, thanks for coming in. Paul and Suzanne, JFP, sorry. Paddy Mac. Pat
It's always
Walsh,
good
yeah.
talking to this.
Ulick, Wilson, bro. Caspar. I think
It's
I don't
been
know
good,
what else
lads.
I've missed in there. Frankie, nice one,
For
bro.
anybody that we missed, thank you very much, and
Yeah,
we
thanks,
appreciate
everybody.
you coming into the live. Thank you, everybody.
See you all there, yeah. Thanks.
You up the Cork.
We up the
See
Cork.
you on Saturday.
See you all on Saturday,
care.
yeah.